Many Americans are now vaccinated and enjoying going maskless as some COVID-19 restrictions are lifted across the United States. But for up to nearly 22 million people, COVID-19 didn't simply go away.
No, that's what happens with my COVID. I start to cough when I talk.
Rohan has long COVID. Some of his symptoms lasted more than a year after recovering from the initial infection. Long COVID symptoms look like brain fog, chronic fatigue, and muscle ache after minimal exertion or even at rest. And some so-called long haulers can have difficulty breathing or organ damage.
Oh, it was terrible because I got up in the morning and just to walk to the bathroom, I had to put on an oxygen tank.
Until recently, Rohan needed help breathing.
Coming down the stairs, I had to put it on.
Rohan first contracted COVID-19 in June 2020, well before the vaccines were available, and while still recovering from a brain injury resulting from a car accident.
But then after COVID, he lost a lot of physical. Like he couldn't really walk that much anymore without the oxygen.
Almost 7% of the adult population who have suffered from COVID-19 still experience long COVID symptoms months after the initial infection. And for those with pre-existing conditions like Rohan, long COVID can make their illness worse and further weaken their immune system.
People who have long COVID, particularly those who have lung injury due to COVID that's longstanding, are at higher risk for succumbing to disease and being hospitalized if they get COVID again.
Rohan was a systems analyst, but now he is home full-time. He spends his days helping with chores and errands, as well as doing cognitive exercises online.
And then the COVID set me back cognitively as well because I was really improving my brain injury-wise from doing Khan Academy. But after I had COVID, it seemed like it set me back couple of years.
Simone describes navigating Rohan's health issues as an experience that has made them closer, but one that's come with many adjustments, especially with his 14-year-old son, Stephen.
He could do small tasks now, like he can drive and pick him up from school. He can go to the grocery store and pick up a couple of things, but as far as like big tasks or something that's going to take long, he can't do it anymore.
Long COVID has cost American taxpayers more than $386 billion in lost work hours, job loss, and more medical expenses. The Biden administration has launched a national action plan to better prevent, detect, and treat long COVID. And Black people in the U.S., like Rohan, are at higher risk for contracting COVID.
I think this pandemic just keeps highlighting the issues with inequality in our country.
In a new report, experts warn there is already evidence of disparities in diagnosis and access to treatment for long COVID.
Racism is a public health emergency, and it has been punishing Black and brown bodies for generations.
We must focus on supporting those whose COVID-19 symptoms do not go away after the acute phase of infection.
The Bright family has heeded the warnings. They are vaccinated and boosted.
So we were very, very, very cautious and scared and aware that if he got it again, it could be a different outcome because his lungs were already compromised.
For 219 West, I'm Charlene Freeman.
Yeah.